Brian Westbrook. Versatile. Unbelievable. Underrated. He's a player that will never make it to the Hall of Fame. His versatility, which some would consider a detriment at the time, now has become an asset. Alvin Kamara's hands with Derrick Henry's hard charge running. Basically, Christian McCaffrey on steroids. In fantasy football every year, he was worth that first round pick. Had one of the best 2-year stretches of any running back in the modern age. A player forgotten by time, but one I would like to highlight again. Because just because you didn't make the Hall of Fame doesn't mean you're not a great player. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe. And in the comments, put a player that you love that wasn't quite a Hall of Famer, but is a person that is indelible in your mind.
Here comes Bouvier, hand off to Westbrook. He runs up the middle, breaks a tackle. He's gone. It's history. 10-5 touchdown. Brian Westbrook explodes 34 yards right up the middle.
Brian Westbrook went to Villanova, where he was a dominant running back, becoming a consensus All-American and a 2-time CAA Offensive Player of the Year. As a senior, he amassed 2,823 combined net yards and scored 29 touchdowns, so not bad. Despite this, he didn't have a very high draft grade. It was basically due to 3 main reasons. That he was small, listed at 5'8", 200 pounds, which at the time was pretty small for a running back. He had had some injury problems, and he played football at a program that some considered to be small, considering it wasn't Division I. However, Andy Reid did not care about that, and they drafted him in the 3rd round with the 91st overall pick. After spending his first year buried on the depth chart, being mostly a third down and special teams running back, he would quickly find himself becoming the primary back for the Philadelphia Eagles. His career yards per carry average 4.6. I think what most of my age group remember about him, though, was how excellent he was as a pass catcher. Some would call him a poor man's Marshall Faulk. Almost saying that as a diss, but Marshall Faulk was a first ballot Hall of Famer, so not a bad person to be compared to. What would eventually propel Westbrook into being the starter was the loss of Deuce Staley and a preseason injury to Correll Buckhalter. He would seize that job and never look back. Many at the time judged him for the fact that he wasn't rushing for 1,000 yards every season. Not in the traditional way. Looking back on these numbers, though, he would be an easy MVP candidate. Especially during his 2007 season, where he rushed with 278 attempts, 1,333 yards for 7 touchdowns, 90 receptions, 771 yards, and 9 combined touchdowns. If we put that into 2023 numbers, he would be the 2nd leading rusher in football. And with receptions, that would put him between Travis Kelce and Chris Olave. Ultimately, the reason why Brian Westbrook will not make the Hall of Fame, however, is just due to the fact that his longevity just wasn't quite there. After signing a 5-year, $32 million extension, he started having some knee troubles, which would eventually lead to his release, where he played his final season in San Francisco. Brian Westbrook, in my mind, is a no-doubt fantasy football Hall of Famer. Got you 15 points a week. You rarely had to use a high first-round pick on him. After retirement, Westbrook would be inducted into the Villanova College Football Hall of Fame. He would also become a Philadelphia Eagle Hall of Famer.
It's the football. Brian Westbrook defined dynamic.
In a brilliant 8-season career with the Eagles, Brian Westbrook was the kind of versatile weapon that confounded opposing defenses. He remains the team's all-time leader in total yards from scrimmage, 2nd in yards per touch, and 3rd all-time in touchdowns scored, career receptions, and rushing yards. In the big play category, Westbrook ranks 2nd to none, whether he was delivering season-changing punt returns for touchdowns, catch and runs to win playoff games, or scoreboard-deciding carries as a running back. Brian Westbrook could do it all, and he did.
Now he works for one of the local affiliates in Philadelphia as an Eagles commentator. When people elect players for the Hall of Fame, They use an old adage of, can you write the story of the NFL without this player? In my mind, these players are the footnotes. What is your favorite Brian Westbrook moment? Let me know in the comments.